What is up, everyone? I hope you guys are ready for another episode of Let's Talk, where you guys are free to speak your mind and share your opinions down in the comment section below. For today's topic, I actually had a message sent to me by SuperFranco29 over on Twitter. Now, he posted, can you post a video of telling us about your introduction to gaming? Now, I really love this question because I'm always reminded about how great gaming was back then. You know, it wasn't as super competitive as it was now. It was more of just for enjoyment and passing the time. And of course, I passed a lot of time when it came to gaming. So anyways, let me start with my introduction to gaming. I actually started playing on a console called TurboGrafx. Now, I'm not sure if that's older, or actually, I don't think it's older than Atari, but you know, it was way back before even cartridges were made. So you guys have CDs now. Back then it was cartridges, and here it was kind of like floppy disk or like a little card reader thing. And once I put that card reader in, or that card into the reader, it it played my game. And I have to say, it was really fun playing those games because, one, I don't really remember the titles, but one of them was the first co-op game I've ever played. It was just me and my brother. It was like a shooter, and you guys just pretty much scrolled up up on the screen. Now, it didn't force you to move up. You moved up when you wanted to. But yeah, it was just a seriously fun shooter game, and it was, again, the first co-op I've ever played. And really, after playing that, I think that's what got me hooked onto gaming, because it was so fun, and of course me and my brother were having a great time. And then I believe after that, Nintendo came out with a Game Boy, and you know, it's not the 3DS that you see now. 3DSs are pretty huge, but this was like a brick. This was like a huge gray brick with a screen in the middle, and it wasn't even colored. It was like a greenish screen, and it just had, you know, black on it, or whatever color that would be. And I was playing Mario. And you know, even though it wasn't the best visuals, I didn't even know what good visuals were back then. Like, I wouldn't have imagined how visuals are now back then. So of course these games were like, oh god, this is the best looking game I've ever seen. So, you know, I'd be playing Mario nonstop on a handheld. So I'd be on like the couch or something playing on a Game Boy rather than playing on console, which is, you know, it's pretty much vice versa now. Everyone is on a console and not really on a handheld. So, you know, gaming back then was definitely amazing because of the fact that we got to see it evolve from what it was back then to what it is today. So I have to say that's why I do enjoy the fact that I was kind of born in that generation. And soon after Game Boy, of course, I had original Nintendo, going into Super Nintendo, and then so on. You know, I had N64, GameCube, Nintendo Wii, planning on getting the Wii U. That's pretty much where I started. I did have a Sega Genesis as well. It was probably the only Sega console my dad has bought me, but you know, it was kind of good that it was the only console because of the fact that Sega Saturn didn't do too well, and of course Sega Dreamcast died within like a year. So I'm kind of glad we didn't really go into Sega's console gaming right there. But even then, I mean, Sony came out not too long after, and you know, we got hooked on that. I think when it came to Sony, I believe the game that my brother and I really got hooked on was something called Loaded. It's pretty much another shooter. So if you guys are thinking about shooters, or you know, the game that I was talking about for TurboGrafx, think of Loaded a little bit. Pretty much it was just 2 players, and you guys go around like some kind of dungeon looking places, like factories or whatever, and you're just pretty much killing everything. That's the main game. It was just like the super violent game that my dad bought me, or at least that, you know, Santa got me back when I was a kid, and I was like, thank you, Santa, I love you. So yeah, I was playing that on Sony, and I have to say that was probably our favorite game for a while. Once we started playing games like Final Fantasy VII, we also played Grandia. Those really got me hooked into RPGs, or JRPGs, however you want to call them. And I really found those, like, you know, the best games, because not only did they provide good gameplay, but when it came to like the cutscenes and everything like that, they were also amazing, because of course they were like pre-rendered, and you know, they were just amazing. And you know, when you went back from the cutscenes, like for Final Fantasy VII, you'd have the cutscene and they had like human hands, and and then all of a sudden when you jump back into the game, they had like goat hands. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with your hands? It just looked really funny to me, and yeah, that's the whole PlayStation. Then PS2 came out. Of course, my dad went and got that for me and my brother on Christmas, so that was awesome. And I was just very fortunate as a kid to have parents, or well, specifically my dad, into kind of like technology and stuff like that. So he'd always want to get the newest console out there for us to play. And I remember as a kid, he'd jump in every now and then and start playing as well. So that was really cool, especially with Street Fighter. My dad, I remember, played with us Street Fighter, and that was really cool. As a childhood kind of thing, it's always awesome to see your parents jump in and start playing with you. And let's see. So I talked about Nintendo, Sony, and of course Xbox was more of a, I don't even know what years that's, but I believe I was already in high school, I think. And yeah, I mean, it was cool. I jumped into Xbox pretty late, actually. I didn't really care for it too much when they first released it, just because of the fact that the controller was ugly, for one. I was like, whoa, what the hell is this huge ass controller? But when my dad finally got it for me on another Christmas, because I actually asked for it. There's been so many times I could have gotten it, but I just didn't really want it, so my dad never got it for me. But one Christmas day, or one year for Christmas, I actually asked for it, and I got spoiled, and and they got it for me. So started playing that. I don't really know what my favorite game on it was. I think I would like to say Jaded Empire. Yeah, like I said, I don't really know what games I played. I think I played some Need for Speed on Xbox as well. That's when I first, kind of got into Xbox Live as well. I'm not sure if you guys started on Xbox as well as I did, but Xbox Live wasn't as good as it was now. And yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. And then, of course, after Xbox, we went to Xbox 360, and we're pretty much in present time. So I'm not sure if you guys followed my whole introduction to gaming, but introduction wise, it was TurboGrafx and the brick we called Game Boy. So that's really where I started. And my question to you guys, of course, is where did you start gaming? I really like it when I hear people tell me that they started on Super Nintendo and stuff like that, just because I don't know, it's funny. It's really cool to see how enthusiastic people get, I guess. I think that's the reason why I like asking people that question, especially when they're like real gamers and stuff like that. It's just that their face lights up and they're like, oh, I played Super Nintendo, played Sega Genesis and stuff like that. It's always an awesome topic to start. And yeah, I really like this question, actually. So thank you, Super Franco, for asking that. But I have to say, you guys, if you are playing on the current generation consoles and stuff, you're pretty lucky yourselves, because you do have wireless controllers. You have, Xbox Live. You have online multiplayer. You guys, back in the day, it was just like, if you don't have that multi-tap, you're only playing 2 players. And, you have to get all your friends together on the couch. Now, I love those days. I wouldn't exactly say I don't like them, but I'm just saying you guys have more variety right now, so you are definitely lucky, especially with high definition gaming. I have to say, games look super sexy now. And yeah, but like I said, as a gamer from back in the day until now, I think it was the best time to be a gamer, because you really got to see it evolve from what it was to what it is now. So as for me, I'm pretty sure even as I get older, I'm going to continue being a gamer. I'm more than likely going to be getting all the consoles, playing games and stuff like that. More than likely I always said, if I have a kid, I'm going to start him off when he's a kid. I'm going to start him off maybe on Super Nintendo, where he could play Super Mario or something like that, and kind of work his way up to the present time consoles. I really think that's what I want to do, and kind of get him into pro gaming maybe. That would be awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much my introduction. So don't forget to let me know what your introduction to gaming was in the comment section down below. If you guys did enjoy this commentary, definitely leave a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And of course, it does help out my channel a lot. So yeah, anyways, once again, thank you, Super Franco. If you guys are interested in sending me any questions of your own, definitely do so on Twitter or through a direct message on YouTube. And for Twitter, it's at 3NGO_live. So just so you guys know. But anyways, I'm out for now, and don't forget, guys, I hope you guys are down with the OPP. I'll see you next time. Later.